Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. My name is Kajarmas, otherwise known as Toneshift, and as always, I will be your game master for today. Welcome back to Chronicles of Eno, ladies and gentlemen. With me today, we of course have our full assortment of players. We have Hades Shadow 92 playing Thanatos, the Dark Knight, and also the star of our current plot arc.
Yay.
You sound a bit more enthused about it. Jesus, I worked hard on all this shit. We have Luminous Starlight playing Rocket the Chocobo, who also just got up, if I'm to hazard a guess.
I had a little nap after lunch. Because it didn't seem to be going, or call didn't seem to be going yet, so I just
Well, we have Darkness playing our human paladin, Alistair.
Greetings, everyone, and salutations, and I'm really looking forward to hear more of the Dark Knight.
What was that, Alicia?
Nothing. It's Tom's
And
turn.
lastly, we fucking hell. Lastly, we have Tom117Z playing our female Elvon Ranger, Neothil.
Ready to drag Thanatos' ass out of another fire.
Even though he's usually the one starting fires, not getting caught in the middle of them.
Yeah, we have to drag him out of his own fire.
I like to burn things.
I like to burn
Yes,
things.
we know, you little pyromaniac.
Also,
I also like
before
to
we
shock things.
before we launch into the recap of today's session, I actually want to take a moment to point out that, technically speaking, as of the recording of this session, January 5th, this campaign's been going for a full year. Like, this is our 1 year anniversary of this campaign.
To you.
Let's not do that. I already have the Final Fantasy Victory music going, so yeah, 1 full year of Chronicles of Eno, ladies and gentlemen, at least from our perspective. Due to the slowed and stuttered upload schedule, this anniversary mark is going to be severely missed on YouTube, but oh well, no one watches the show anyway, so who cares?
A couple dozen people do, but it'll probably
three of
go. Shut up. It'll probably go out sometime in April, probably.
Well,
Hey, that'll be close to my birthday. Yay.
all right. Well then, so now that we've appropriately celebrated the fact that this is easily the longest Final Fantasy D6 campaign I've ever run.
Effing box!
What?
Oh, sorry, my stupid Wi-Fi cut out as I missed most of it.
Eh.
Oh well.
Technical
hell.
difficulties galore.
Work!
That's a basic thing with us.
What do you mean, no signal? It's right next to the bloody laptop, you tosser.
We've been
Okay.
doing this for a year, feel old, move on.
Okay.
We've been doing this for
It's right next to the laptop. I can't fucking.
one
I can't
whole
brush it in
year
there, can
of
I?
hell.
Okay, Darkness, can you hush for a minute? Because I need to do the recap.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm trying to fix my box.
Okay. So, where we last left off, our merry band of adventurers wrapped up their business in the settlement of Dami Checkpoint, with Rocket getting accustomed to her new body parts, and everyone else purchasing new gear, which was very expensive, but ultimately gave them a significant boost in all of their stats. At the close of their business, they then proceeded to leave Dami Checkpoint, parting ways with Sid, the man who had been helping them for quite some time, in taking down DV Corp, and began to make their way to their next goal and destination, the city of Kurzitan, where Thanatos comes from.
And
After around a week of travel through the Uzura Desert, the city in the sands came into sight, and Alistair made a fool of himself at the gates before the party was able to haggle their way through due to the corrupt nature of the guard at the gates wanting to swindle the party out of their coin. The deal they were able to strike was, instead of 200 gil per person, it would be 100, with the added bonus that the party had agreed to do a favor for the guard later should he come calling.
And if it's something we don't agree with, we can either talk him down or he can die. Either one.
That's what you determined for yourselves internally, at any rate. He is not aware of that.
Well, of course he's not aware of that. I would defeat the whole point of it.
Exactly. So, After that, the party settled down for the night in an inn and tavern, which I have taken the liberty of naming. You can see that we have a list of known locations down here in the corner. You are at the Golden Scale Inn and Tavern, is where you slept the previous night. And it
Golden
is...
Scale Inn in a city of lizards. Wow.
I mean, you tend to have a naming schemes based on what's familiar.
Yeah. All right, so with all that said, we come in. Someone just disappeared.
Darkness in his box.
Darkness in his box. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I was the Brit to have troubles last week. This is his turn.
Well, at any rate, so it is time for us to come in to today's session. Ladies and gentlemen, you all awaken in your room in the Silver Scale Inn and Tavern. Hello, Darkness, my old friend. Welcome back.
Yep, sorry for that. I had to reset the whole bloody thing.
All right. Well, you're all waking up in the Silver Scale in your inn room, groggy and tired, intense sunlight from the morning sun. Well, actually, no, due to the sort of internalized canyon-esque valley that the city is based in, you don't actually have much sunlight yet, because it's still being blocked by the walls of the mesa, but you can see like the orangish red hue seeping in as the sky brightens up with dawn's light, and a few motes of dust and stray sand particulates floating around in the air through your window. How do you proceed?
I know one thing.
We wake up and get the fuck out.
As he puts it, I see my critical fail, though. Well,
from last
that's a
time.
bad sign.
I don't even
That's
remember
a
what
bad-
that was.
Neither do I.
That was just an accident, but still, that's just a bad.
Oh
omen to
yeah,
me.
that was when that's when his mic accidentally made a roll for him. And he failed.
He critical
I
failed
had it.
his. He critical. No. What it was is he critical failed his athletics check IRL, which led to that.
Yeah, I remember the roll was the critical fail.
Oh, Jesus. So yeah, the day is yours, gentlemen and lady.
Well, technically, ladies, but okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the day is yours. Do with it as you will. I don't get paid enough.
Let's go
Yeah.
bowling.
Yes, indeed.
I'm
All
not.
right, kiddies, time to wake up.
I'm comfy.
Wake up, Nee.
She
Come on, we got a job to do.
tells up to me because of them all.
Unless you want lizards coming in to watch you two cuddle, we need to get out.
What time is it?
It's morning.
Thank you, Sherlock.
Well, I suppose Fein Ferrow won't wait for snoozing.
You up, Rocket?
Yeah, I'm up.
Cool. Probably was a
Alright,
bad
so
idea.
you two gonna get up, or do I have to push you up?
We're getting up. Calm down.
Yeah. Mika pulls herself out of bed.
Ugh. Mornings. Sand.
Like rubs her eyes because she's got like sand in her eye because the Sandman and the desert.
Knew it was a bad idea to allow Thanatos to wake those two up.
Somewhat incredible how even the interiors of buildings are covered in sand.
They are made of
Well, when you-
sandstone.
And we're still technically in a desert, Nee.
Don't remind me.
It's too hot.
Well, actually, it's rather nice in the mornings. Once the sun gets over the mesa, then it'll get a little warm.
I'm a cat who lives in the most northern islands in this entire continent. It's too hot.
And she swings out of bed.
Don't argue with her. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm a woodland elf, so you know.
Don't you live in like forests where the sun's blocked from trees a lot?
Exactly. cool most of the time. It's just it's nice. It's like a nice level temperature. Here is either too cold or it's boiling, mostly boiling, and sand. I don't like the sand.
Hey, you two are just wimps. Now get up.
I'm going to say so, because when we were traveling through that desert, I swear I was blacking out a bit, because I don't remember everything.
Yeah, it's just the heat talking. You'll get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I really
Speaking of
hope we're
getting
not
used
here
to it-
long enough to get used to that. Ugh.
Well, once we finish our business here, we can leave this place behind. Trust me, I'm just as eager for that as you guys.
And let's be about
Speaking
it.
of Speaking of the business, Fein Ferrow. She's big on that.
Well, if she's in the city, she and her family would most likely be in the cave system to the east.
As you said yesterday. Well, you know this town better than the rest of us. Lead the way, oh glorious. Apparently leader now.
Yes, we should make our way back to the main road here, then make our way up to the cave system. The sooner we get out of the center of the city, the better for us.
Sounds like a plan, Guide Knight.
So I'm really kidding about the leader thing. You're still the sidekick.
Alright, shall we get a move on then?
Yes, come.
All
We
right.
must lead.
I don't do that on command. Anyways.
For fuck's sake!
Ignoring that,
I'm sorry, my mind is still reeling from some of the stuff that happened in Final Fantasy XIV the other night when Lumen and I were doing the Praetorium. The chat there was a total meme.
Oh dear.
It was a total
meme
meme.
fest.
joy. I love memes.
Don't be a
Just
dummy.
friend love.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright, so you make your way
Let's
out of the
go.
Golden Scale, back out onto the streets. There aren't very many people around at this hour, by the looks of it. The streets are quiet. Occasionally you hear
Good.
the calling of some large desert bird in the distance. Foot traffic is light as you turn to your left and make your way back the way you had initially come when you entered the city, before hooking another left to start making your way along the outermost of the large streets that sort of make up the multi-layered ring system that comprises the heart of the wealthier districts of Kurzitan. You make your way for a while, occasionally passing Bongo or scruffy-looking humans or Elvon who kind of give you sideways looks, and even the occasional Galka, although they look to be a bit worse for wear. Eventually, as you're making your way along the road, it turns off to one side, and you see a less of a paved road and more just a long stretch of the sand that's been worn smooth and parted by a lot of foot traffic, leading into a high-roofed but horizontally narrow tunnel that has been drilled and etched into the canyon wall. Lit occasionally by the sporadic lamp or torch and candles lining the walls, you make your way inside, and soon the warmth and light of the day behind you is soon replaced by a very uncomfortable gloom. You step forward, slowly but surely, and eventually the tunnel curves and opens up into this enormous chamber where you see a lot of people, more than you were honestly expecting from such a location, given the quietness of the streets you had just left. The fact that these streets are so bustling comes as a bit of a surprise to you. And the entirety of the population that you see scattered out before you is comprised of mostly humans, with the occasional Elvon, a few scattered Mithra, and every now and then a Galka. And the vast majority of them look very ragged, tattered, scraggly. A fair few of them are malnourished as they're passing, not looking at all at you, just keeping their eyes to themselves and hustling along to get to their business.
Bloody hell. It's like
I'm
finding a needle in a
increasingly-
haystack in this place.
I'm increasingly not liking Kurzitan.
Join the club.
As you are reaching this intersection here, I need everyone to make an awareness check.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, well, I don't see shit.
Oh, that's a good omen.
Critical fail. Neat.
I'm too busy.
told you!
I'm
Bad
too
omen!
busy being disgusted at Kurzitan.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Adasia's a little better, as is Rocket. And
Oh.
Mika, of course.
Oh,
So,
fuck you, dice.
so everyone. Okay, so everyone but Neothil notices it. As you're coming to this intersection, looking out over, and I forgot to mention the buildings. The buildings themselves are largely wooden constructions with only a little bit of stone here and there. It's mostly wood, like almost like driftwood. All of them are all of the planks are really eroded and rugged looking, slapped together, all ramshackle like. Some of the boards are miscolored. It's very Fallout-esque in the way the buildings are just slapped together into something that's stable but not at all pretty and doesn't really afford the best in the form of privacy. This is very much a slum. But as you are stepping forward, your eyes are drawn to the right when you notice one building that stands out from the crowd, namely in that it's a burnt-out husk.
Ah,
And you all just see Thanatos freeze.
Something
am
what?
I missing something? What's going on?
He
Thanatos.
he doesn't respond and just slowly starts walking towards the building.
Oh shit.
Ah,
Yeah, this ain't good.
Mika kind of follows after Thanatos as he's meandering towards it, puts a hand on his back.
Hey, are you okay?
Again, he doesn't respond and gets up to what would have been the front door.
Nika, just give him a minute. I think he needs it.
It's pretty much exactly as you remember it. Burnt out husk. Roof caved in. Very little of what was the second floor remains. The front room, you see the scattered remains of furniture that have long since been reduced to ash and dust. Doesn't even look like anyone's ever come through to clean it up. Save for, well, the body that was inside. That's been removed. But everything else has been left exactly as it was.
He just slowly makes his way to the center of the house. Very quiet.
Completely silent inside.
He collapses to his knees.
Mika takes that as her cue and just looks back at everyone else.
Can we really leave him like this?
He needs a moment, unfortunately. I'm sure he's strong enough to pull himself back on his feet.
This is the first time he's been here since it happened, at least as far as I know.
This
So
is a
he's ever
fairy tale.
really- Yeah, and I doubt he's ever really seen it like this.
Mm.
He was just a kid. Someone amazed it's still there.
He was a
Oh,
kid
I
and he was alone, as I understand it. Shouldn't be this time.
Indeed. We would do everything to help him. I mean, we survived together this long. We can do it.
Yeah,
But right now, we just need to be delicate around him.
yeah. Like he's been for us when it counts. And he's going to walk into the house, conceding the point and kind of remembering back on the Marasu Gardens.
Mm.
And it's going to sit down kind of next to him. Going rather too close proximity. You don't need to say anything. Just... we're here, alright?
It's strange.
I know.
I remember there are times where I remember it so well, and then it becomes hazy.
You were a child. Be expected.
It just seemed like a regular day. Everybody was minding their own business. Mom and Dad just like they always were. Then all of a sudden there was smoke and Mom telling me to go for the back door.
Sounds like they did everything they could to protect you.
And they died for it.
He put his hand on his shoulders. They loved you. And that matters a lot.
Wasn't fair.
No. But that's why we're here. To fix things. And I know nothing any of us could ever say, nothing any of us could do could ever replace the loss. Could undo what's happened, but despite the shit we throw at each other, a great friend, Thanatos, and I hope the new family you found might be worthy of him someday.
Yeah. He gets up and goes further into the house.
It was never a particularly large home, largely a central room, a place for relieving oneself, a downstairs bedroom, and the upstairs was largely one other bedroom and some storage, as well as a kind of makeshift balcony where, if anyone wanted, they could just go and stand on the roof and look out on the desolation that is the Mudhole District, as it's nicknamed by its residents.
Can I get to the upstairs?
Yeah, the stairs are still there, filled with occasional holes, and they creak and bend a little under the weight of your foot and armor, but they hold. As long as you go up one at a time, you can make it to the upstairs. The storage room is gone and most of the walls have fallen away, but the upstairs room is still there.
Just make my way in there.
Most everything inside, like the rest of the house, has been reduced to ashes and char marks that smear the blackened and eroded floorboards. There is still the frame, at least, of an old bed pushed up against what was the wall. The remnants of a chest of drawers against the wall opposite of it.
I walk up to the bed frame and put my hand on it.
Frame sort of crunches a little bit under your gloved hand. Very old at this point, and very eroded.
Under the dust, I can still see something, an engraving.
It's still there. Little hard to make out through the char marks, but with a quick and gentle application of your thumb wiping across it, becomes clear. Scratched into it a long time ago.
You all
Who all's followed him up, by the way?
Me, because she was already with him.
Right, and Mika followed you up as well. What about Alistair?
Yeah, why not?
All right, and
I'm
Rocket?
keeping this distance. And...
Yeah, okay.
All right. So you all see a name engraved onto the baseboard of this bed. Talion Estime.
Talion. Was that your father?
No.
You?
This was my room, Nee.
My name's Talia.
You didn't think I was born with a name like Thanatos, did you?
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything.
Italian.
Stein.
Yeah.
Well. Still think Thanatos Shadow Grasp has a ring to it.
Master said I should. Master helped me come up with that name, just in case Chakal or any of them would ever recognize my name.
Well, think they're going to remember your new one soon enough. Yeah, that way.
When I fucking rip that counts as a heart out of that lizard.
We will, but looking at all of this, we have to think bigger than the past is also the future. This entire town, seeing what the Minardi family's done to it.
This is what they do when you just owe a debt.
Well, you don't have to take them on your own. You do know that.
I know.
We can try to make something of this place, but we're here with you. I know this master of yours, Caius was his name. He's prepared you for this, but well, all the preparation and of doing it alone, you're stronger with friends. At least I think so. No one should be alone.
It would be nice to have some help.
Why do you think we're here?
We didn't come to see the sights, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Besides, someone needs to heal you when you tap into that dark magic of yours.
What is that scratching noise?
I don't know.
I think it was coming from Darkness's end.
Possibly.
But I don't know what it was.
Okay, let's carry on.
Alright. Thanks for this, guys.
You're welcome, Italian.
I'll let that slide for now.
I was honestly half expecting you to respond with, "You're welcome, Auralia." You missed a trick there. Come on. Losing.
Out of character, I'd honestly kind of forgotten his real name. So, Auralia, shall we?
There it is.
Shall we move on and see what we can find here?
Yeah, well, someone here will know the way to the Ferrow residence, I'm sure.
Let's keep our eyes open then and ask around.
Just try not to attract too much attention. A lot of these people are just really down on their luck, but some do get desperate.
I understand.
Some place reeks of it.
Just try not to hurt anybody.
Don't have to worry about that. We just try to ask questions, and if they don't want to say anything, then fair enough. As long as they're not
Anything
suspicious about
that
it.
counts as a tavern around here we could start at, or we have to do this by street?
Thanatos, go ahead and roll for me, if you'll permit me a second to check the things here. Roll a finesse check, because this counts as you trying to remember details.
Finesse. Okay.
Oh,
12.
Oh yeah, that definitely does it. You remember that a little ways to the north, there is, in fact, another inn and tavern that makes its home here. It is called, quite sullenly, the Cavernous Deep Inn and Tavern. And it is, as you recall at least from last time you were here, a very, very rowdy location. Like, very noisy, people often getting drunk off their asses. The bouncer usually just watches an amusement as they hurt themselves, that kind of thing. And you also
Sounds
know
like
that,
a
and you
place
also,
is easy to get information.
and you also know that the Cavernous Deep tends to be a place where, whenever there's some meeting that needs to be held between lower-ranking members in Vinali's chain of command, they tend to go there to have their discussions drowned out by all of the chaos.
So there's the Cavernous Deep up to the north, if I recall correctly. Though it's a little more rowdy than our usual taverns.
Well, sounds of it, it's a good place to just accidentally overhear stuff, or repeat what we did that little vehicle fellow. Maybe if we're lucky, we might even run into Fein herself.
Although we don't have any money, so
How much? I know, like we have like a few gil, but how much exactly again?
82. You have 82 gil between all of you.
Well, we're not going there to drink. We're going there to mingle, quote unquote.
True. Though after this, I could have used one.
Let's get one when all this is done to celebrate, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
Where is this master of yours anyway? That during all of this, I expect him to be around somewhere, seeing as he's
You know,
this.
that I've been asking myself that a lot. He keeps showing up and like I don't know.
Showing up.
I don't know if they're visions or something. It's like time.
Like back in the Marasu wilderness.
Oh, yeah, kinda. It was like time just stops, and then he talks to me, usually hounding me about something, which is pretty normal for him. And then he leaves, and then time restarts.
I had no idea he'd been more than once. You weren't here, Mika, when this first happened, were you? You told us about this.
No, this is new information to me.
So, since you're here, you know a bit about time spells. Is that something familiar to you?
Well, time magic isn't my... It's more of a secondary thing compared to my white and black magic.
It's to roll a lore check.
Well, I know there are some spells that can slow down time or stop it, even in a compressed space. Like, I know a spell that can stop time on a single individual, causing them to go completely rigid for a short time. And, I mean, Thanatos, you felt that once when we were fighting Saran.
Don't remind me.
Right.
Huh.
That's pretty low level, and there are a lot of other higher level spells in time magic, but I can't think of any off the top of my head that can do what you're describing, where it freezes everything except for two people. Nothing I know of can do that.
And why would a Dark Knight have magic like that?
No idea, but to be fair, I know next to nothing about Dark Knights. You're the only one I've ever met.
Well, from what Master taught me, it's all been of the black magic school.
I
Huh.
don't know.
Aren't we two peas in the pod? Mysterious figures always showing up, being cryptic as hell and not telling us everything.
Yes, yours comes in dreams, and mine comes in weird time stop magic stuff.
You would really like Panara if you were notably watching us out there, Caius.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
show
think
your
he's
master
listening.
with a few years.
I mean, he may be. He always says he's not too far.
As I said, cryptic. It's annoying, isn't it?
Although the last time he showed up in person, another time he showed up was after we got obliterated by Mirasan.
Yeah, I think you
He
mentioned
was-
something about that.
He was in the cave right before everybody else woke up. Other than
OC, didn't we have a discussion about this when it happened?
I honestly don't remember. Did we, Tom?
I don't remember either. That was a couple sessions ago, and kind of a
I think
footnote, honestly.
I think we did because we talked
A little
about
bit.
I talked about Panara showing up and you mentioned
Okay, well, I mentioned it because, like I said, he says he's always close.
The way I see it, if he reveal himself to us in his own time or not at all, depending
Yeah.
on how your master thinks.
maybe he has a surprise party planned for you when you win this.
That would be
What
nice,
he-
actually. If
What
we-
he
we
counts
do
as a
that.
party, I don't think you guys would enjoy.
Well, yeah. I see your point. I mean, if his training produced you, the king of edgelord, then he must be the emperor of it.
Well,
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome.
can we go into the cabin before you two bicker all day?
Yeah, sure.
That's just how we show love. She says, kind of gently hitting him on the arm.
Oh,
Mika reaches over and
Yeah.
grabs Nee by the ear.
careful.
Platonic love, platonic love. You know I don't do that.
She gives you
Do
this.
not-
She gives you this long look. Kind of
Can I use-
pulls you closer, despite the fact you are significantly taller than her, and kind of like grabs onto your arm, hugs it close, and just kind of pouts at Thanatos.
Mine.
Don't worry, you can have her.
Good.
You
Me
had
is-
to,
Then
Me
she-
is blushing to herself. Like,
And then,
I'm
and
not
then,
you had to make her jealous, didn't you?
and then Mika looks up at Nee and pokes her right in the nose.
Mine.
I have
That-
no idea whether to be highly flattered or embarrassed as all hell.
Yes.
And then she starts dragging you away.
Aw.
I have many mixed feelings about this.
Aren't they adorable? Aren't they adorable?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, come
Oh,
on.
boy.
Let's get to the tavern before those two need to find a room.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. So, leaving behind the burnt-out remains of Thanatos' old home, he leads the way through the packed streets, navigating expertly through the crowds of people who you can tell are all like forced to live together in really crammed conditions. As you're passing by the various slapped-together homes, you can tell that many of them host more than a few people above what would be considered comfortable capacity. This is a very densely populated zone, and it shows. Eventually, though, as you hook a left at a crossroads, you see a somewhat larger building than the others that's actually put together somewhat decently, standing there on the street. It's still very much a very dirty, very rugged-looking place, but it actually looks like it's being maintained and taken care of to some degree. No glass on the windows; they're just open, shuttered holes on the walls, through which you can hear very loud, very energetic music blaring, and happy voices cheering and gargling, and you swear you even hear a glass bottle like breaking against something in there, just and some uproarious laughter and shouts as what you can only assume to be a bar fight is starting.
So, Thanatos, before we go in, any other words of advice or wisdom you'd like to share upon us before we go in?
Stay out of the fights. Also,
Yeah. I'm having flashbacks to one of my earliest days on the job. There was a bar fight in a local tavern. Rania got punched in the nose. She knocked him out with a gut punch somehow. I'm not sure how that worked, but she did it.
yes. Well,
Well,
try
mine-
not to follow in your sister's footsteps, because that would probably get us killed.
Hey, Nee,
Yes?
if we ever have the privilege to meet your sisters, please remind me not to piss her off.
I mean, if you did it anyway, you're an idiot.
Oh, I look forward to meeting your sister.
Just give me a heads up. I don't
Thanatos,
want
you're going to
actually-
die. Anyway, let's go.
Thanatos, you're going to die. I just love the way that was delivered. That was great.
Oh, we're all going to die eventually.
All right, so you step into the front door of the Cavernous Deep Inn and Tavern, and you see that the open common room is large. The walls have a bunch of candles at varying stages of being burnt down lining them, and each table has its own candle set up. There's sort of this haze hanging in the air that makes visibility a little on the iffy side further away. The music is, like I said, very lively and upbeat and a little off-key. You can see there's like a bunch of people in the back playing their instruments. Very guitar-heavy and harps and whatnot, and some drums too. It's definitely packed in here. Plenty of people watching the band playing with interest, guzzling down their cheap drinks. And you see off in the opposite corner from the band what looks to be a Galka trying to shrug off like 3 different humans who are currently just like climbing all over him and punching the crap out of him. He looks annoyed and they look frustrated. There's a broken bottle on the ground and beer spilled out everywhere. You see there's a few waiters and waitresses just kind of wading through the chaos with expert precision, like, yeah, we've been doing this shit for years kind of thing. And the bar in the very back has a Galka standing behind it who's just looking out at it all with this bored expression like this is Monday for him.
Well, you want to do something, Anatos?
First, this is a shot in the dark, but can I spy any Elvans or anyone who might potentially be of an oldie affiliation in this crowd anywhere?
Roll
that's a
an
good point.
awareness check.
Shouldn't we all do that?
Is that for
That's
all
a good
of us? or
point.
just me?
And he's
I
the
think
one
it's fine.
he's the one who went first, so you're neither 14. You do see a few Elvan. The population in the room is mostly human, but you do see a couple of Elvan. There are a couple of men seated in the back, kind of talking amongst themselves. They're sharing their drinks. And one of the waitresses is an Elvan, who's sort of surfing expertly between the tables, scooping up empty mugs, dropping off new ones. Very... kind of an interesting grace to the way she does it, almost as though she's turned her routine into something of a dance just to entertain herself as she works.
Huh.
As for individuals who may or may not be associated with the Vinaldi clan, you have no real way of telling right now.
Yeah, they don't exactly make it obvious.
I feel like this place would be a lot better if it had a Lusker in it.
Oh my.
You hear that, Mika?
Mika raises an eyebrow.
Luska. Wasn't that dancer in Marasu?
Oh yeah, before you and I were a thing, she hilariously shot me down.
Yeah, she does that.
It was quite hilarious.
I wish I'd seen
Of
it.
course,
And brutal.
of course she was drunk at the time a little bit.
No,
She
you
called
forget
you
the
a
order. I
fucking
got drunk
idiot.
afterwards because I was somewhat embarrassed.
Yes. And then I had to drag her.
To be utterly fair, I was mostly doing it to cheer you up.
And besides, she doesn't take suitors.
Yes, I know.
She is notorious in that city for that.
It's fine, I got-
Mika glances over at Thanatos.
You're gonna have to share that whole story with me later.
Oh, I'm sure. I'd be glad to.
He'd be honored.
I'll give my own input if you don't mind, but in the end, I think it'll work out okay. I got the superior model, and he says, putting her arm around Mika.
Mika raises an eyebrow and then just kind of smiles and leans a bit closer.
Anyway, Thanatos, where do you want to start with this?
Here's your plan.
What was
What was
that?
that roll?
I'm just rolling something for my own interest over here. Never you mind.
I hate it when he says that. Alright, let's find us a seat kind of out of the way.
Well, can you spot one? It's a bit of a crowd here.
I guess I have to do an awareness check then, damn it.
Awareness.
It's not great.
Okay, you do see a few open tables kind of scattered around. there aren't any that are really like super out of the way in terms of people. Like you see a few empty tables, but they're just like islands in a sea of occupied ones. It's as you're looking around hunting for empty tables that you do notice that your group is starting to attract a bit of attention. For one thing, you all look a lot cleaner than most of the clientele, you quickly deduce.
And the giant cyborg bird.
Yeah, there's a
probably.
chocobo standing next to you with Magitech parts sticking out of her, which is drawing a
I
lot
thought
of
she had
attention.
that costume on still.
I don't think she ever put that on, no.
Well,
And it's also worth noting that the fight that was going on off in the corner has kind of stopped. The Galka and the three humans are kind of, like, the Galka has his arms way out, and each of the humans is kind of hanging off of one of them, and the last human is kind of sitting on the Galka's shoulders with a fist raised as though he's about to punch him in the head. But all four of them are just staring at Rocket with these kind of looks on their faces.
Good evening.
No, no talking. Alistair.
Maybe
Do I know silence? I do not know
You know,
silence. Shit.
maybe
You should probably
Rockets.
invest in that.
maybe one of us should wait outside with Rocket. It seems to be attracting a bit too much attention to us.
Yeah, Alistair, Rocket, outside.
I take it.
And don't talk to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Alistair and Rocket, you two stepping outside to stay out of the way? Not
Mhm.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Let's head to that table, I guess, and come up with a game plan.
All right. You make your way over to the table and you settle down. Slowly but surely, the attention that was leveled on your group starts to decrease a little bit. There's still like everyone's still casting you the occasional like odd glance, like it's weird. What are they doing here? Kind of thing. But most of them are keeping to themselves, even if they're giving you skeptical looks. Once you've settled into your seats, a few moments later, the one of the waitresses, the Elvon I mentioned earlier, comes swooping by.
Hello. Anything I can get for you?
What's on tap?
Pretty much just ale. A few different degrees of ale.
Well, we'll order in a little while. Unless any of you want something.
I think we'll wait.
Okay, just wave me down when you're ready.
She smiles and goes, gracefully skiing off into between the tables. You got that shit down to a grace.
She might not be a bad... He kind of is whispering to this point. Be a bad person to ask if this is like the big tavern in this area. Fein has bound to have been in here at some point. And she might know a bit about her.
Let's scope out the area first.
Well, you can do that. I'm going to ask the waitress when she comes back.
Alright, just
Remember, we just met her on the road. We were friends. We helped each other out. And we're not mentioning the bit that happened after.
indeed.
All right. So Nee's waiting for the waitress to come around again.
Yep.
Okay. A couple minutes later, the waitress is passing by again.
Hey,
Yes?
I'm just curious. There was an elven girl I met out on the road, not too far from. Well, do you know what the Academy City up is?
Of course, who doesn't?
Fair enough. But we met. There was this elven girl we met out on the road. We helped each other out when a boat got stuck on the river when she was out hunting. She said she came from Kurzitan. Her name's Fein Ferrow. I was wondering if she's been here recently. Or if she was even in the city at all. Say hi, if possible.
Roll me a negotiation check.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Come on, Nick.
I mean, that had an extra point in it. 7.
Ooh.
The woman blinks a few times, shifts on her feet.
I don't know anyone by that name, I'm sorry.
Oh. Well, that's okay. She had a really nice weapon. Magitech, if I remember it. Huh. It's kind of a thing to admire. Oh well, I'll keep searching because well, she might not even be here. I might end up having to move on, never see her again, which would be sad. But well, there you are. Really should have thanked her for the help she gave us as well.
Do you need to order something?
Not until my friend gets back. Then we'll probably order some ales. Thanks anyway, though.
She nods, turns, and heads back away.
She totally knows who she is. Me kind of whispers to Mika. She totally knows who Fein is. She's lying.
You sure about that?
Pretty sure. But she was very shifty about it. I'll have a bit of a giveaway to people who are trying to, well, protect someone due to fear.
So, she knows something, so what do we do about it?
I mean, you wandered off
But,
to the crowd.
I mean, I didn't technically say I wandered into the crowd. Okay, I come back. So, any luck?
That waitress definitely knows who Fein is, though she got kind of nervous when I inquired about her, story notwithstanding. Could you go and subtly keep an eye on her, see if she's gone to chat to anyone because of our questioning?
I'd figure you with Little Miss Stealth would probably be better for that job.
True, I did. I'll see if I can get into a shadowy corner or blend in somewhere. Stick with Mika, would you? Just until I come
Yes.
back.
Indeed, I'll keep an eye on your little kitty cat.
Actually, I wanted her to keep an eye on you.
I believe the phrase you're looking for is girlfriend.
Besides, I want her to keep an eye on you.
Her slit pupils sort of narrow slightly.
And believe me, I am.
I was the one who said not to cause trouble. Why do I need to be the one to have eyes on me?
Because you're Thanatos.
She smiles sweetly and blinks a few times at you.
Anyway, I'm off to
Damn.
stow it up. Wish me luck.
Damn,
I'm scared
Mithra.
for trees in this place.
All right.
Damn Mithra and their little cat eyes.
All right. Okay, Neeg, go ahead and roll for me a stealth check. Just bear in mind, you're not going to be totally unobserved because there's a fuck ton of people in here.
It's more of just kind of
Avoiding
Not-
the-
There's only
Yeah, it's
avoiding attention.
right.
avoiding attention from particular people, not just from everyone.
Okay, roll it.
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of ones here, and I don't like it.
Ah, shit. Oh.
3.
All right. Well then, you managed to sort of slip your way through the crowd a little bit and find a somewhat more unoccupied corner and sort of study yourself against the wall and look around a bit and soon catch sight of the Elvon woman again. She's going about her rounds still. Every so often, she kind of glances anxiously back towards the table you just left, and eventually, like, she sort of pauses or slows down partway through her rounds, squints at the table, and then makes her way over towards the bar, whispers something to the Galka behind it, and she nods, sort of gestures his head back, and she
Can't make out what she whispered.
make an awareness check, but suffer a -4 penalty due to the tumultuous din of the room.
So just roll 2d6 then.
Yeah.
Oh.
11?
Cha-ching!
All right. You can make out their voices, but not the words, unfortunately.
Well, that's useless.
Yeah. So yeah, the gull cub sort of nods his head back and she disappears behind the bar, slips through a door in the back, and disappears from sight.
Huh. I wonder if I could stealthily try and follow her.
You
But
can
I need to-
certainly try.
Well,
That's
I
not
mean,
a-
the Galka's right there.
Hmm.
I mean, unless you could get some. I know I'm not in the room, but this is our character. Unless there's one that can distract them.
Or what if she could gesture over to me and I could try to go around back with the other two?
Unless the Golka is here to stop bar fights, correct? He's a bouncer.
No, he's the big Galka who was getting attacked earlier, he doesn't seem to be a bouncer. He just seemed to be getting beat up on. The one behind the bar is the bartender.
Right.
Looking around, you don't actually see a bouncer out and about right now.
Hmm.
Despite the
Oh,
early
this-
hour, you get the feeling this is the calm period of the day.
There's got to be a way to get him back, because she's definitely nervous about something.
Think, barkeep, Thanatos.
I'm thinking, like, if there was, like, a big commotion that would keep attention.
If you're wanting me to pull another,
He has to do his
Thanatos
job.
moment, No,
He has to do his job, so.
It doesn't even necessarily need to be a bar fight, just something to hold attention. Maybe something to
Exactly.
do with our 5-odd chocobo
Like, you
that
know.
everyone is too busy staring at.
Ask him what he's got and basically try to decide. Does keep him distracted while she sneaks past.
I mean, I could
Something like
certainly
that.
try to keep his attention.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Let's learn
I'm
some
gonna-
advice.
he's going to come back to the table and in honest truth, she's gone into the back. I could probably try and sneak back there and see what's going on. She's definitely nervous about something. She knows something. But with that Golka keeping an eye out from behind the bar, so close to the door, getting past will be difficult, especially with very few places to hide. I need something to keep his attention for a while.
I can handle that. Mika, can you stay out of trouble while we're gone?
I'll keep an eye on the situation as a whole.
Thanks.
Oh,
Don't say nothing gonna start us a fire, you'd be fine.
What's
oh.
he gonna do? Thanatos.
First things first. I'm gonna hand Mika over my chocobo whistle. You see
No.
anything happens with me or Nee? Blow that, and it'll signal the other two outside.
Okay, this is a chocobo whistle, right?
Yes, and who's outside?
Yeah, I know, but Alistair won't hear it, so he'll probably just be confused. When did you
Is
get
that
this? I didn't
difficult?
know you had this.
I've had it for a while. I just picked it up. Never thought I'd be walking around with a giant talking cyborg chocobo. But if Rocket will hear that and knows that if we ever blow that, it means bad.
We were going to use it if trouble happened back when we were doing the ship heist, remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So yeah, anything goes wrong, blow that so Rocket can know what's going on.
Okie dokie.
Anyway, what's your
Alright.
part of the plan? How are you going to clear the way for me?
I'm going to keep his attention on me, and while you,
How?
he's a bartender. Just think for a second.
Well, at least you're not doing anything too drastic. Alright, once
I'm not going
you're-
to cause a scene.
Once you're in position,
Fire.
I'll see if I can sneak my way through. Just keep his attention real good.
All right. Wish me luck, girls.
Good luck.
All right.
So,
So,
this is why I was never an undercover cop.
okay, so,
And yet you do sell so well.
I don't know. Thanatos, you step forward, you approach the bar. The Galka sort of draws himself up a bit as you're approaching. Hey, what can I do for you?
Hey there. How's it going?
He gestures vaguely. Boring as shit. What can I get for you?
I'll have an ale.
Alright, 20 gil.
Is he going to have to roll anything to see if he keeps his attention successfully?
No.
Oh.
I will say that under normal circumstances, trying to sneak by him would suffer you getting like a -4 or higher penalty, but due to Thanatos talking to him like this and holding his attention, that penalty will be reduced to a -2 for your stealth. Thanatos, are you coughing up the 20 for the ale?
Yeah.
Okay, so the party's down to
Alright.
62 gil.
I'm going to roll my stealth check. I have a +5 rather than +7, but that's still decent.
That's still pretty decent. Come on.
Yay!
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, as Thanatos is talking to the bartender, getting his ale, sipping at it, and just generally making sort of a small talkish scenario, Nee, you sort of subtly and slowly sort of slink your way over towards the sort of lift flap that I don't know the name of. That usually is how a bartender would move out from behind the bar, or how employees would go to the back. And after a certain point, you glance over, you see that the guy doesn't have line of sight, and in a particular moment of rowdiness when everyone's kind of getting their attention drawn to something deeper inside, you take that as your cue. You quickly duck down under the flap, slip by, and keeping your head low down, you on light feet scurry by. A couple small creaks under your feet as you go, but the din of the crowd beyond is more than sufficient to drown it out, and you manage to make it to the door in the back.
Alright. Kind of, before I go in, I'm just going to kind of have a look through a keyhole or listen in wherever I can to check this place out.
There is no keyhole, but you can push your ear up against it. Go ahead and make me an awareness check.
10.
You don't hear anything of note behind the door you're currently putting your ear up against.
Alright, since I've still got my stealth check of 14, can I kind of open it a crack and kind of take a glance inside?
Yeah, you look through and you see a hallway that goes back maybe 40 feet, and it's got 2 doors on either side. You're not sure where they lead. They're all closed.
But no one's in it currently.
You don't see anyone in this hallway now. Not at the present.
Alright. Going in, so it's 2 doors either side, so 2 doors left, 2...
Yeah, 2 doors left, 2 doors right. There's like a bucket with
I'm
a
gonna-
mop next to it, leaned up against the very back wall in the corner, but
Well, I'm gonna go between the doors and try and see if I can hear anything in the inside of any of them.
another
Look at my
awareness
elf
check.
ears here.
Come on, me.
12?
That's better.
You go through a couple of the doors before you land on the third one, the farthest one on the left side. Put your ear up against it, and you hear voices on the other side. 2 of them, both female, whispering to one another. Quiet enough that you can't make out the words, and sort of breathy enough that you can't make out distinct tones in the voices themselves.
Can't hear it through the door. What would be the specific role for trying to open it up a crack and kind of both to have a peek inside and to better hear it without just like super quietly opening it a crack?
That would be another stealth check, and we just maintain your previous awareness check.
Right, so another stealth check with this time,
But
I guess.
her penalty's gone, right?
Yeah, her penalty's gone this time.
So yeah, +7.
Roll 2d6 plus 7. 14
All right.
again.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You crack the door open a few inches and peer inside, and you see what looks to be a small meeting room. There's a square table, kind of rickety, set up in the center, wooden chairs, 3 of them total, set up around it. And behind those tables, you see the waitress you had seen earlier talking in hushed voices to none other than Fein.
And Fein Ferrow, I knew it. I knew it would be.